All right. So, welcome to everyone to my program. Okay, I am a little bit excited because this is the first program of the Young Talents. So, I was making programs named of Genç Yetenekler, Ustalarla Söyleşi, and Müzik Sohbetleri. And these programs have one thing in common, which is that they were all doing with Turkish musicians. So I want to open the world some kind of, because when I started this job, this content, I have no idea that I will make programs with foreign musicians. So it's a huge step for me. I hope you will understand and you will like the content of this live stream. I am not so fluent in English, so sorry in advance for the grammar mistakes or spelling mistakes. I'm not that good at English for now. But I hope these programs will improve my English also. So it's a win-win situation, for me and for the world, I hope. Okay, so first guest of Young Talents is Gemma Alexandra. She's in UK and she's a pianist. We will talk with her about her piano journey, music journey, and we will talk about the concerts she attended and the competitions she attended so far. And you know the concept. I mean, if you are a watcher of my programs, we will know better about her as a musician, of course. Okay, so Jem is here. I am too excited. I can't really give up in the third or fourth program. So I am waiting your support. It's really meaningful for me. Okay, so Jem is here. I don't want to wait more because the program is delayed for like 15 minutes. So, okay, let's go. I will invite Jem. I send an invite to Jem. I hope she take it.
Hello, sorry, I was just getting rid of my dog was in the room and she was crying, so I didn't want her to ruin anything.
That's not a problem.
Thank you.
Welcome again.
I'm
so,
good, thank
how are you doing?
Yeah, I've done a bit of practice today, so it's all, yeah.
Yes, me too.
It's all sort of done for the day now. I can just like relax in the evening.
Yeah. So, is this your first?
This is the first time
like this?
I've done Instagram Live. I don't really know how it works, but yeah, it's the first time I've ever done anything like this. I've only ever done like where I've watched someone else. I haven't actually like participated or been on the video.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. So, I don't know too. You just open it and talk to the camera.
Yeah,
that's all
true.
I know.
It is quite simple, isn't it? But I think I overcomplicate it most of the time.
Yes, actually, to knowledge of my social media is pretty simple. You just enter it and talking to the camera, to the people. That's all I know. All right, Jem. So Would you like to tell us about yourself? You know, your piano journey, your music journey. How did it start? How did it been progress? How was the progress so far? Would
Yeah,
you like to
so I
introduce yourself
live
first?
sort of just outside London in the UK, and I've been playing now for, I think it's around 14 years, so 1 4. Um, and I started when I was 9. So, I mean, you can do the maths and work out how old I am. But yeah, I started at primary school. So that's like the first school that
Hmm.
people go to. And I did lessons whilst I was at school, which were separate from the school. It was like another company that come in to teach just piano. Um, I think there was
Yeah.
like opportunities for everyone at school to sort of do music lessons. Sort of you could choose guitar or maybe drums, piano, and I was just asked if I would like to start music lessons. So I said yes, and the
Hmm.
rest is history. Um, so yeah, I just started doing that, and I mean, I kind of at primary school it was quite musical anyway. Like we did lots of singing and lots of like music stuff anyway. So it kind of made sense for me to learn an instrument. And also my nan, I've mentioned it a couple of times on my actual feed. She has a piano at her house. So obviously I've grown up with the piano around me, and I would sort of play on it anyway. Before I could even like understand how to play, I would make up songs on the piano and give it a little play
Yeah.
every time I was at my nan's house. I think
Mm.
just having that around me the whole time was a bit more motivating to like continue, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that it would
Yes.
be played all the time. Yeah.
So I think you're in luck for this opportunity, you know, for the piano issue. So do you remember why did you take the piano? You said there was a guitar lesson or drum lesson and piano lesson. Do you remember why did you take the piano? It was like some
A little bit
coincidence,
because
maybe.
my dad plays the guitar, so it would make sense for me to then also play the guitar. But I think the piano for me, I just sort of felt like I really wanted to learn. And I have tried playing
Yeah.
guitar before, and I'm not very good. So I think naturally, just doing the piano is a bit better for me. Like I felt like I made a lot more progress quickly. Like it was kind of natural
Yeah.
for me to pick it up. Rather than other instruments that I've given a go. I've played a couple of other instruments, so but the piano's always been the one that kind of stuck with it.
Yeah. So you fell for the piano once, and
Definitely.
this happened. Yeah.
It's just, yeah, I think it's also one of those. Now I notice if I'm out, like wherever I am, I notice if there's like a piano in public, I always like almost can see it out the corner of my eye. I can spot it, and it's just sort of like everything's piano. Bit obsessed with it, but yeah, I think it was a good choice for me to start because obviously I've kept it up as well. I think lots of people when they start playing an instrument, they sort of pick it up for a little while and then they stop playing. Um, Whereas I've been able to continue to do that for the last like nearly 14 years.
I mean, 14 years is. Oh, I'm 18. You know, You
I
say
didn't know
14
you.
years. At 4 years, then it's my
I mean,
age. I mean, I'm 18. Yeah.
I'm 23 this year.
Okay. Uh, what were you thinking about my age?
Pardon?
20.
I didn't hear that. I'm
You said
23,
20.
nearly.
Oh yeah. Okay, I understand. So I'm 18, and the 6 days before was my birthday. So I am quite 18. Just new. Okay, so I want you to ask. Okay, so here's the deal. I always ask people about the pandemic era that we been through, but I have the same answer again and again, because I made these programs only Turkish people, but this is the first time I am asking this question for the people who lives in a different country, so I'm really curious about it. So the pandemic era, of course, affected all the musicians in the world. The concerts has been delayed. I mean, musicians couldn't go out, couldn't meet their friends, musician friends. So includes in UK. How did the pandemic time go for you? Did you improve yourself? And can you say to yourself as well the sentence of "I spent more time with my instrument, so the bond with the instruments between me and my instruments
Um,
are improved"?
well, during the pandemic, I was put on furlough, so I didn't have to go into work. I couldn't, um, but I wasn't like I still had the job, um, but I didn't have to do any work from home because my job was basically dressing mannequins in a shop, so I couldn't do that at home. So I spent most of the pandemic like just having a break, honestly. Um, I couldn't do anything again. Yeah, we couldn't go out, we couldn't go and socialize in the normal way. I didn't have the piano I have now. I didn't have. We only had the digital piano, so I was sort of. I mean, I wasn't playing all the time, but I think that was when, I've got the time to dedicate to it. And I actually started the Instagram then as well, in 2020, because over the summer I had recorded a lot of videos of me playing the piano, and I kind of thought, they're all on my phone and no one is seeing them apart from me. So I just thought maybe I could put them on Instagram and see what happens. And I wasn't really expecting to like really meet people on here, but I have managed to do that. Like, obviously, people comment and you sort of have that connection with them like that, and people send you messages, they send you recommendations, you can like their stuff back. So I'm sort of grateful for the pandemic, the time that I could spend improving playing piano, that has made it now where I can like talk to people on here all the time. But I think with the pandemic, people, they wanted to be more productive because we couldn't do anything. I think a lot of people they wanted to do loads and loads and loads. They wanted to learn something new. And I mean, I was definitely in that sort of same boat. I wanted to get better at piano, but I also thought, why don't I buy a new instrument, try something different? Or why don't I learn how to cook during the pandemic, or learn how to speak a new language? And I think it's important that people didn't put too much pressure on themselves to learn something new, because when you go back to now how it is normal time and people having a 9 to 5 job or whatever hours they're working, you don't have as much free time to dedicate to that kind of stuff. So then people stop doing it. So like in the lockdown that we had in the UK, I really wanted to learn the cello, and I started off quite strong. You know, I had hours in the day to practice, and as soon as everything went back to normal, I have not touched the cello. It's in my room, it's not been used. But yeah, the piano is the only one that I have stuck with every day, which is where I kind of think maybe it's not really a hobby for me. It's a habit. I do it every day without thinking about it now. And I think that's the same for a lot of musicians as well.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's like a passion that you'd like to do. It's not a hobby. I mean, that's actually, I have the same idea because I started this content, this live streams in 2020 as well. So, like you, I had no idea that I will meet the people in Turkey. I mean, I really couldn't even imagine it, because you know it's like I am seeing them on the TV. They are playing the piano with the orchestras. I mean, I admire them, but I had no idea one day I will talk with them. I will make program with them. Maybe someday the world class musicians, you know, because I think this big jobs starts with small steps. You know, of course, it is because you know you can't create a big thing without effort. You know what I'm saying? By the way, I am following you about like 2 years, I guess. Yeah, 1.5 years. I admire you because you're playing absolutely amazing pieces, and I am so bad at piano, so I can't play what are you playing. It's like Chopin's ballad, I guess. You know, it's a huge dream for me, but you're playing it, so I really admire of your playing because I see your progress. You know, you upload videos and videos again. I see your playing. I saw your progress about the piano, so I have to tell you, you have done a great job, and
thank you.
I have to congrats.
Yeah, I think I choose quite like ambitious pieces sometimes, like challenging ones. Definitely the ballad was one that I really wanted to learn when I was about 14. So that's when I first sort of came across it actually and listened to it, because before then I didn't listen to a lot of classical music. So I got to that point and I listened to it and I thought I really want to play that. So I started it a little bit when I was 14, never finished it then. Then I went back to it again a couple of years later, and then obviously last year was when I properly went for it. And I think it's still, like, for me, I'm quite critical of my own playing, so I wouldn't say it's like perfect, and I don't know if it ever will be perfect, but I really enjoyed sort of the challenge of learning it.
Yeah. Do you think there's a perfectness in the music?
I think if I finish a piece of music, I always want it to be better than I'm playing. So I guess it kind of depends on how you feel that your playing is. But,
yeah, I mean, it really depends how you look at the perfectness is. You know, you have to make a definition of the perfectness, then you have to compare, is the piece, is the recording perfect or not. But as a musician, I really can say, okay, that's done. It's perfect. You know, it
Yeah,
always
I
can be
agree.
better. It always.
And
Uh, when you listen Horowitz or Arthur Rubinstein, then you look and listen to interviews with them. You're saying, "Oh my God, this is the best performance I have ever heard," and they are saying just like,
yeah,
"Oh my God, it sucks," you know. It's an awful concert. That was the worst concert that I have intended. You say,
yeah,
What?" Because you say, "Oh my God, this is the best interpretation that I have ever heard," but they're not thinking like that because they know too. It always can be better. It always can be more mature, and you can't
mhm,
reach the composer's level. You have to um, close to them. You have to know them. You have to feel. I mean, if you are playing Chopin,
yeah,
you have to think like Chopin to understand that piece, and it's impossible to perfectly understand Chopin if
yeah, I
you're not
agree.
Chopin. I mean,
And I think a lot of people sort of feel the same way, that they never reach that like exact level of perfect. But I think that's what I like. Like everyone plays a piece slightly differently, and everyone
yeah,
interprets the musical score in a different way as well. So I think it's nice because then, I mean, there's loads of recordings of pieces now, but you can get so many like varieties of the same piece, if that makes sense. So like some
yeah.
people might play it faster slightly, some people put more like expression. So I think it's nice because you have those different options. You can choose sort of which ones you resonate with more.
Of course. And I'm thinking like, okay, so I was a huge Arthur Rubinstein fan when I was like, started to play the piano. I was a huge fan of Chopin, but when the time goes, you are starting to explore new things, discover new composers, new performances or the recordings. I mean, you are meeting the Michelangelo. I mean, for Chopin or the Horowitz maybe, uh, and the variety is the music. I mean, if the music is this much valuable and this much this much valuable and good, it's because it has so much varieties. It really changes if you change the angle that you are looking. I mean, you can say I love Chopin and the Chopin is the greatest composer, and some of the musicians come who's Chopin,
Yeah,
or I hate Chopin, and you're saying how. Mesela I think Johannes Brahms. He didn't know the Chopin until he's 22. He has no idea that Chopin exists. And someday he goes to the Liszt house, the composer Franz Liszt. But by the way, this story is true. I read it on the Turkish writer Aydın Bükes book. It was the Chopin, a life dedicated to the keys. Uh, and the Clara Schumann's book. It says the Brahms goes to the Franz Liszt house because he's a huge fan of Franz Liszt, because
mm-hmm.
the man is amazing. He's so show off. He's always giving concerts every day. So Brahms goes to the Liszt house and put on the desk that he wrote and wanted to show to the Liszt. One of the pieces, it's Scherzo in A flat minor, Opus 4. And Liszt says, okay, Brahms, go ahead, play for us. Brahms couldn't find the courage to need to play against Liszt, because you're playing and the listener is Franz Liszt. So he refused it and he said, I will not play it. Franz Liszt said, oh, well, okay, if you don't, I will. He takes the notes, puts on the piano, and plays perfectly. I mean, in the first opening, it puts it and plays perfectly in tempo. Then Franz Liszt says, oh, it's really good, and it's so similar to the Chopin Scherzo number 2 in B flat minor. And Johannes Brahms says, who's Chopin?
I can't imagine like that at all. Well, actually I can, because probably quite a lot of my friends don't know who Chopin is, so they'd probably have the same reaction, who's Chopin? But I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to tell you about the moral of this story is music is really, really has really variations people to people, and this is absolutely amazing, because when the variations go higher and more variations, it much better than it is.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree.
So we said a lot of composers' name: Franz Liszt, Johannes Brahms, Chopin. I'm really curious about about what you think about these composers. I know you really love Chopin, and I think you're a romantic era musician. So would you like to tell us about your opinion about composers and the eras in classical music?
I mean, yeah, definitely I would say probably everything I've posted is from the romantic era. There might be a couple that are a bit older, but I want to like explore a couple more composers. I think I have tons and tons of like books at home, and I just feel like I need to approach a couple of newer artists that I haven't really looked at recently, or at all. I think the only composer I actually play, I think, and that I really want to go into is probably Bach, because I have the book, one of the books, so I think that would probably be someone that I would look at a bit more. But yeah, everything is like Chopin or Schubert or Liszt, like everything I play at the moment. I think I just kind of connect with that era a bit more. I do listen to quite a lot of different like genres, but within like the classical, it is mostly Chopin or like a couple of concertos of Chopin or Liszt again. I can't really think of, or Tchaikovsky maybe. That I listen to. I don't really play a lot of that. It is mostly Chopin, but that's just because I almost like listen to a nocturne of his and I'm like, I like that one, and then I'll listen to another one, I'll be like, I like that one and that one and that one, and then I add them all to a playlist. I'm like, I'll learn those one day, and then I go next to the sonatas or the etudes, and I'm like, okay, I like this one, and this one. I want to learn all of them. So it just kind of got to the point where I had a massive long list of pieces I wanted to play, and they were all Chopin.
I mean, the more you go into the Chopin, you fall in love that much. I think, Okay, here's a question for you. Which concerto do you like the most? Of course,
so
Chopin
there is
concertos.
one, I think it is number 1 in I don't think it's that one. I'm gonna have to check which number it is, because I get really, there's one that I really like. It's on an album which also has
Is it
is that one. Yeah, it's that one. It's because it's on the same album as a piano sonata of, I think, which is why I get them confused. Because like I get the key confused. But yeah, it is that. I love that concerto the best.
it's so it's so romantic. I mean, how can even the one person alive can write such
Yeah,
romantic music? I really can't
I
imagine.
think
I really
no,
can't.
no, it's okay.
I'm
It
sorry.
is
Of
like
course, you go ahead.
quite, I think, inspiring. Um, and also, I can't imagine, like, I don't compose music, I just play it. I can't imagine being able to compose something like that ever.
By the way, the other thing that I can't imagine
Oh
it's to
no.
write this music. You know, you put the music score, the empty music score, and writes maybe hundreds of pages of concerto.
Definitely.
It's an art. Really,
Yeah.
writing the music, it's really
No,
an
I
art.
agree. I think I find, like, we had to do composition stuff at school, but we had a program that wrote it for us. You just typed in, I think you had a keyboard that was attached to the computer, and you just played, and it would type the notes for you. I would never be able to do it myself. It wouldn't sound how I wanted it to sound, because I don't think well, I'm not at a very good high level of like music theory, but I, yeah,
Yeah.
I think now when I think about, we have so many like digital programs that allow you to compose your own stuff so much easier than how they would have done it, the original stuff that we're like playing.
Did you ever try to learn
And
the
no, I
concertos of
have
this?
not attempted those at all. I love listening to them, and this is the thing, I listen and then it makes me want to go and find the sheet music and start trying to play it. But maybe one day I'll give it a go.
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, it's really virtuosic pieces. Um, I mean, when you're listening, you know, right? You know, and say to
Yeah,
yourself, "Okay, I can play this," but it's so good, but I cannot play it. You are saying this to yourself when you are listening. But for me, too, is the second piano concerto in F minor.
yeah,
It's the best. Most people choose the one, the first piano concerto, which is in E minor, but I really fell for
yeah.
the F minor concerto
Right.
more. Which movement do
Um,
you like the
I
most?
believe it is. I need to find the the album that I um have actually saved, because I just really, it's a Katia Bunyaishvili recording. I don't know if you've heard that one, but
Mm, yeah,
her recording of it is, I'm pretty sure it's the the third movement that I like the most, because I didn't, when I first listened, I didn't like search for piano concerto. It just came up randomly. Like, I think it was just a suggestion
mm,
of what to listen to, and it just randomly played this third movement to me. So I hadn't heard any of the other stuff, and I saved
yeah,
it onto my computer. And after that, I actually decided to listen to the rest of it. But always, it was the third bit that it came back to me. I really loved it every time.
yeah. I understand. I mean, it's for me too. I really love the third
Yeah,
movement. Of course, the first movement as well, but the third movement is has another place in my heart. I mean, uh, because this music, this kind of music, the Schubert's music, Schumann's, both Clary and Roberts, or the Chopin's Franz music, it goes directly to the heart. I mean, maybe the Bach's music
yeah,
maybe sometimes goes to the brain. You have to calculate it in mostly in preludes and fugues. Yeah, but the Chopin's music is just like
mm,
goes directly to the heart, to the people. I don't know. I really can't imagine how they write it, and I really can't imagine what the hell he was
yeah.
feeling
That's
when
true.
he
It must
writing
have
this.
been some kind of deep pain that he was letting out there, because yeah,
Yes,
there's just so much
actually,
like
yes.
feeling in it. And I guess also you have that when you're listening to it. It's so easy to listen to so many of those pieces as well. I find them quite like, well, I mean, people say classical music is relaxing. I find a lot of these pieces very relaxing as well as like energetic as well. But yeah.
Yeah, of course. Of course, the people who says that sentence, you know, they don't know the
Yeah,
Tchaikovsky symphonies, or the Shostakovich, maybe the Prokofiev, maybe. But the classical music has
definitely.
the relaxing side, of course, but it's so epic. When the orchestra gets in. This Tchaikovsky Symphony 4. That melody, or the Bruckner's piano concertos, or the Shostakovich piano symphonies. It's so epic. It's not
Yeah, no,
relaxing,
I
but it's
agree.
so
I
epic.
think it's good to have different like mixture between both. However, if I'm listening to music in the evening to try and relax, and all of a sudden this energetic, loud concerto comes on in my head, I have to change it. It almost shocks you.
Yeah, but you can find all of the emotions for me. You can find all the emotions in Chopin's music. Do you searching for relaxing? Okay, you can listen to the second
Yeah.
movements of his concertos. I mean, or you want to relaxing. I mean, you want peace. You can listen to the third movement of his cello sonata, maybe. But you want energetic or epic piece, you can listen Shostakovich, Tchaikovsky, or you can again listen to Chopin. You can listen to the third movement of the first piano concerto, or the first movement of the first concerto. To me, one people can really find all the emotions in Chopin's music. So some people says I don't like Chopin, but I am um, saying that you didn't search
Yeah.
Chopin that much. I
Yeah.
guess I think that way. I don't know if you are agreeing
I
with me,
think
but I think
it's always like stood out to me. His works have always been the ones that, like, if I am searching for something, I'll always go to Chopin first and then maybe explore other things. I mean, I am interested in exploring some newer, not new, they're new to me because I haven't like listened to them that much, but they're not new because they're mostly from hundreds of years ago. So, um, but
yeah,
I'd like to look at new composers this year, like something completely different, and maybe play something completely different. But I think I like to choose when I play, I like to play pieces that I enjoy listening to, and Chopin is something that I enjoy listening to. So usually that's what I'm playing.
yeah. So in this time, your program has which Chopin
Um,
pieces?
so
I mean, what are you
at
practicing
the moment,
by Chopin?
I've only got that I've practiced recently the ballad number 3, third one. And actually,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
one that I decided to start during the lockdown pandemic in 2020. That's when I first ever played it, because I was just kind of, I wanted to go back to the first ballad, play ballad number 1, but I thought, no, it's too difficult. I'm going to go for the third one instead, which is just as difficult anyway. But I just thought, no, if I start
of
a
course.
brand new one, it won't be as difficult for some reason. And I actually, I think that's one of my favorites. Like, I think I prefer the third ballad over the first one, just because I think
You
I
do.
think so. I think, yeah, the third one for me, I think because it's not as well known. as the first one. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of a reason for me to like it more. Because then I
Uh,
feel like I'm the only one that plays this, even though I'm not. But just because I've heard so many variations of the first ballad. So, but yeah, I like the third one. So I like to keep it sort of frequently playing it so I don't forget it. And of course, what we said earlier, you can always make it better. It's never perfect. So yeah, I'm currently like keeping that at a good level and going over some other stuff. But I think I wanted to look at new, different composers. So I've got a Mendelssohn piece at the moment that I've been playing. So that's what I've been practicing and learning at the moment, and that is all over the feed that for the last like 2 weeks. I'm kind of focusing on doing one piece every month, just learning a new piece every month, because last year I didn't make as much progress as I liked. So now I'm a bit more strict with myself with learning.
yeah, I understand. Most people says, okay, I will finish a book in this week, and you're saying I will finish a piece in this
Yeah.
month. Of course, it depends which piece did you, I mean, select. You know, if you select the third sonata of Chopin,
No.
you probably cannot finish it in a month. I mean, it's really a tough challenge. Of course, if you are Liszt, you
Yeah.
can learn it in 1 hour. But you know, we all not are Liszt, because so it's really hard piece. But the third ballad is, by the way, third ballad is super melancholic, I believe. But you're right. The first one is so overplayed, so over, not overrated,
I think
because
so.
it
Yeah.
deserves. That piece is a masterpiece. It's not
Yeah,
overrated,
definitely.
but
I
it's
have seen
overplayed.
quite a lot of people play it on here, and I also wanted to be one of those people that was playing it. So when I first like listened to it when I was 14, I thought this is going to be like not a very, I didn't think it was as well known as it is. But I mean, I still learned
Yeah.
it, so I still tried to learn it. Even if it was a very like well-known piece, I would have still wanted to learn it just because I liked it. And that is generally what I do when I like a piece. I'll learn it or try to.
Did you practice the fourth ballad of Chopin?
Well, when I first I mean, I haven't actually finished, like got it to a nice place.
But I saw the videos, I guess, in your Instagram to play that piece. Yeah, you put the
I
videos about the
haven't
fourth
got
ballad of
anything
Chopin,
recently.
or
It was a
am
couple
I
of
miss?
probably last year that I posted a couple of videos.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
And maybe actually maybe even the year before. I keep forgetting that it's now 2023. So yeah, I'm hoping to put maybe some for next week, or just repost something that I've already practiced, just because I like to keep posting the same stuff, just because the Chopin, like I feel like each video is going to be different anyway. And also because I post really short videos, I don't want to post like the full 7-minute piece. I'd rather post like little tiny clips of the practice. So I mean that'll take me a little while to get the whole piece on my Instagram, but yeah.
So you have a record of the complete pieces? I mean, maybe in
I don't
YouTube
have
or Instagram.
I've never really, it sounds strange, but I haven't actually recorded anything from start to finish. like, and really without making a
Yeah.
mistake. I normally make quite a lot of mistakes, so I then choose not to post it. But I
Of
did
course.
think about having a YouTube channel and like posting the full version of the video onto the
Yeah.
YouTube, and then just having the short clips for Instagram. But again, I'm not even that old, but I can't work out how to use most of the other social medias. So I just haven't done that yet. But maybe I'll do it this year at some point.
Yeah. By the way, if these pieces that we are talking about is im- maybe impossible to play, I mean, with no mistakes to beginning from to finish. But I think the mistakes make the music better for me. You know, the Arthur Rubinstein's recording. He's pressing the wrong
Yeah.
chord. It's not the chord that Chopin wrote, but you are listening it. It's like it's not a mistake.
Mm.
It's a beauty of the recording. So we are not robots. If you want to listen to the music with no mistake, you can go and listen in the sheet music bus or that kind of YouTube videos. But I think if we are human, we have to do mistakes, and the music gets better with mistakes.
I think whenever I make mistakes, I usually swear or I get really annoyed, so I can't really post those recordings because they have expletives in them. So or I like just get annoyed with the piano. So um,
Yeah, of course. By the way, if you are practicing it, you are really being so angry if you
yes,
press the
so
wrong
I mean that is
notes.
a reason for me to not post some of my recordings. But I do agree, like when you're playing a couple of wrong notes, it's not really that noticeable if the whole piece is consistent. So I think I might give it a go, like recording a full piece. But I don't know if I'd put it on here because it's a bit
Yeah.
long for people to watch all the way through. I don't know if they'd watch the whole thing.
So okay, I can watch, and you can be sure about it, because I love your playing, and of course this Instagram account is
Yeah.
more like piano diary. It has small clips, short videos, but maybe there would be a YouTube channel that you put them professional recordings from beginning to the end, maybe. And I will be your first listener
Thank
and
you.
your first
Yeah,
subscriber.
that's good.
First.
I think I need to learn how to film a bit better as well, because my camera at the moment is just on my phone, and I just prop the phone up against the piano and just play. I think a lot of people do that, but I've also seen people who have like professional microphones and they put them in the like inside the piano so you can hear everything, and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have like a really
yeah.
great like high quality camera. They have tripods, and I just have my little phone. So I did think about sort of changing up how I film, but I think just for the ease at the moment, to make it easier for me, just the phone. Just the phone will be used.
They're preparing for it hours and hours. They put the microphone, they put the camera, they purchase them, and you're just like, okay,
Click
camera,
record, yeah.
okay, let's play.
I have always kind of envied the quality of the video though, because I really like seeing those really high quality videos on Instagram. And I always think I wish I could have something like that, because some of mine are a bit like grainy and not good sound. But I think I'm not totally bothered about how it looks. It's more about just this is my practice for today, and this is how it sounds. It's not perfect, but yeah.
Love me like that. I am not perfect. This is Okay, yeah, I understand. But by the way, this video's looking really great with the great editing. If you're playing in an
Yeah,
orchestra, the camera goes to the pianist, then some changes the camera and shows the orchestra, the conductor maybe. But these are, you can't do it by yourself. You have to get agreements with a company which does this job, because this is really a job, and you can't put and purchase them and put all of these uh, equipments by yourself. And I really think that's a really
yeah,
expensive job. you know you have to spend a lot of money for one video, because you think it has so much people working on this job. One cameraman, one the man who
mm,
puts the microphone on it, the one who is editing the video, clears the sound. So it's really
yeah.
expensive
I
business, I think.
definitely cannot afford a camera person for my videos. So, but yeah, I agree. I really like watching videos of like a full orchestra and how they pan to each like
Yeah,
kind of section, and like the conductor as well. And obviously in the piano ones, the pianist. So I yeah, I just really I like watching those videos. Um, yeah,
that's fine. The phone is good for now.
definitely.
Okay, so let's talk about competitions. Okay, so Bella Bartok said once, of course, he's not my friend, but just, in his letters, we know, says that competitions are for horses and not for the musicians, uh, which he wants to say that the competition is not for the human and not for the music. But today in the world, it has so much amazing competitions. The Poland government makes the Chopin International Chopin Piano Competition, and it's the biggest competition, piano competition all around the world. And if you're looking at it, you can see amazing pianists that comes all around the world to the Poland just for this competition, uh, just playing the Chopin pieces, just playing to interpret the Chopin pieces. So it's a really big industry, actually, the competitions. But Bartok said this sentence, and I really want your opinion about it. Do you agree with him, or you think the competitions are helpful
Um,
for the
I
musician?
think like I understand why he said that, but I don't know if I 100% agree with it. Even though I'm not a fan of like participating in competitions, just because I think I would take it personally if I didn't win. So I wouldn't be very good in a competition unless I came first. Um, I think they're quite like they're, as you say, there's like so many, and I think it almost gives like an opportunity for musicians to like it could be their first ever time playing um, to an audience. So and
Yeah.
also there's a show at the moment on Channel 4 here in the UK. I don't know if it's shown everywhere else, but it's called The Piano, and people are playing public pianos. Um,
No,
okay,
I
so it's
didn't
quite
see it.
new. Like it's just started. I think it's like episode 2 or 3, and it's that people are playing public pianos, and who is it that's judging it? It's Mika and Lang Lang who are watching them without them knowing. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if anyone else on here has heard of this. I might, but it is technically a competition, even though you're not. Um, you kind of being judged against other people. It's not like where you know the other people who you're playing against. But I think they're quite like a competition is important. as long as the person isn't gonna get offended if they don't win, like me, I would be. So yeah.
This program is interesting. Yeah, you are seeing a piano, sit on it and play something. I mean, random. Some of the line
Yeah.
comes and oh wow, you play amazing. I mean, that would be the shocking,
Yeah, I think
really.
I think I need to like um keep watching it, but it kind of makes me, because I have wanted to sort of play public pianos. I think I'd like to be able to do that without like getting really nervous. But so I was, because there's quite a lot in London that I know of, and obviously I'm not very far away from London, so I did always think about going up to London to find one of the public pianos and playing it. But now I'd be worried that I'd be playing and Lang Lang would come over and be like, please stop, or something like that. So I can just imagine that happening. We're filming for a TV show. We don't want you on it. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, that would be hilarious, by the way. You see the Lang Lang is running. I mean, yeah. By the way, I don't know if you like Lang Lang or not as a pianist. So there's some people who don't like the musicality of the Lang Lang because,
Yeah.
Lang Lang is a show off. We have to admit it. So you like him
I
as a musician or not?
don't really listen to a lot of his like recordings. I think the only one I have recently listened to was a Liszt piece that he did, which is just so, it's La Campanella. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but he did that, and it's so different from any other recording. It's very like hard, expressive, I think. But I mean,
Yeah.
I quite like people that are over expressive in their playing. I quite like that. I don't think there's any musicians that I like dislike for whatever reason, but I don't think there's many that I would say, oh, I wouldn't listen to their specific recording. I think usually it's to do with the piece overall.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at the Lang Lang's channel of his own, you see I played Chopin's Black Key Etude with an Orange. you know, you click on the video and he's not taking serious about this performance. He's just playing it like it's a normal thing. He's coming, okay, what's in the program? La Campanella, okay, it goes, plays, and comes again. This is a really high level of in the music. You listen to Lang Lang or Danil Trifonov, the Evgeny Kissin, the Marta Argerich maybe. They make it look so easy. It's like it's a habit to play these pieces for them. They're playing and okay, this is easy, and they're having fantasy on them. Some composers make a lot of hard pieces on easy pieces. The Mozart. These variations, or the Busoni has a harder version for the La Campanella.
Yeah.
La Campanella is hard on itself. The Busoni goes and make it harder. And this is the level in the music that we cannot reach in 1 or 2 years. It really takes a lot of experience.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I will ever. There are actually some pieces where I'm like, I probably won't ever play that because they're too difficult. but I mean, I've still got hopefully quite a lot of years ahead of me to give them a go. So, but like currently, I like practicing stuff that's challenging, but not like impossible for me, because I think some people pick up certain pieces because they know they're like popular, without really knowing how to approach them.
Yes, but okay, so what do you think about this popular culture thing? Okay, you know, if you go, okay, let's imagine you are a classical musician and you go to your friend, okay? You are meeting with him or her. She or he says, I love classical music. I say, oh yeah, I am a classical musician too. So who do you like the most as a composer? He or she says Chopin. Oh, which pieces? Nocturne in C sharp minor. Or Beethoven, which piece? Like Moonlight Sonata. So, did you listen another sonatas? No, but Beethoven wrote 32 sonatas for the piano, or the Chopin wrote 21 nocturnes for the piano. How many you know? One Moonlight Sonata, Nocturne in C sharp minor. This is kind of annoying.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I do. I think it's nice to have an appreciation for those pieces that are really popular, because they're obviously popular for a reason, that they're really good. But I agree, if you say like, I love this piece, this is the only the only Beethoven piece I can name, then you don't have anything to compare it with. And I like a lot of the other sonatas more than the Moonlight Sonata, actually. So
yeah, I mean, I'm annoying with the sentence of I like to play Chopin. You don't like playing. You like one specific piece. You like that. You don't know Chopin's nocturnes. You just know one of the nocturnes. People say like this is so easy. I can't. I mean, I don't play some pieces because I know this is not the time. But I see the people on the Instagram. They're playing Rachmaninoff's concertos. By the way, they play piano for like 1 year. They playing the beginnings. They play, this so much popular chords in the second piano concerto in C minor. You know that chords. People playing them, not the full concerto. I mean, they are playing, this concerto. They are just playing the beginning and says, oh, the Rachmaninoff concerto is amazing. I am annoying this, People say it because it's like too easy. They just know the one movement and says, oh, this concerto is amazing. And I really annoy with that.
I think luckily for me, I don't see a lot of that on my feed. Like I think I have quite a lot of like the people I follow are playing such a variety, which I love. And also there's quite a lot of pieces on there that are brand new to me that I've never heard. And I think that's also what gives me a bit of inspiration to learn different stuff. But I've definitely seen a lot of, I think it's when you go onto the explore page on Instagram, or if you go onto Reels, they always show like quite well known pieces. I also see lots of people playing like TikTok songs that are popular on there and turning it to piano. I have done a few of those, but only one actually, but that's because I actually liked the piece of music. But I don't know how I feel about doing more of those, because I kind of think they're just trending at the moment, whereas the actual stuff that I like playing, the classical stuff, has been popular for years.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I think the same. I just have so many friends that they are admitting that classical musicians and know Chopin or the composers, I really can't, I really don't think any people can say, I know this composer. Maybe that composer doesn't know himself or herself either. You know, he's writing, but he doesn't understand, or she doesn't understand what he feels. He just writes it because it's that deeply pain. You know, we talk about Chopin, we said, okay, dude, what the hell were you feeling about this, writing this piece? And probably he will say, I don't know, just pain, or uh, just, I mean, I don't know, you know, you are losing your love for Chopin. He loses her love because of the money. He loses his country, you know, the Poland and Russia war. He goes to the France. He had nothing to live for. His family, his love of his life, his country, they're all gone. And you can't understand this situation. You can't understand what that that man felt on them those years. It's like impossible to feel
I agree
perfectly.
And also, like, I think the way that people might approach one of the pieces, they might be feeling like they can't put the full emotion into the piece the way that it would be written as well. And I think I find that with a easier piece of music. So like for me, I found Eric Satie's Je m'appelle #1, I think it is. It's quite a simple like piece. It didn't take me long to learn, but it took me ages to actually get the sort of emotion into the piece, because that's a completely different side of playing, I think. And where I'm setting my goal of like learning one piece a month, that's just learning the actual notes. It's not learning like how to make it sound really, really good. That's what comes after months and months of actually playing the piece, I think.
I think the age is effect too. You know, you can't understand it in at 18, but when you come and have more life experience, when you come, 12 or 30, you say, oh, okay, this man is right. You know, he has right about to write this music, because you know Chopin really started to make melancholic music so early. He wrote his first nocturne, which is 16.
That's crazy.
He was 16. I mean, dude, you're 16. What did you know? And I really think the same as you are, and I really admire them to write this such good music, because it's really, I mean, how can I say this? It's a gift for the humanity.
Definitely, yeah.
For me, yeah. So okay, you said Lang, and you know we know the world class musicians. They're really good, but I think every musician has an idol, or you know, has a favorite performances for the pianist, or you know, it can be like violinist to Hilary Hahn maybe as an artist. So which musicians do you like the most?
I think music? One of my favorites is probably Katia Bunitishvili. I really admire her, just because a lot of the saved pieces, the ones that I have on a playlist of I want to play this, they're her recordings, and I've always really liked the way that she plays. I think what I saw of her was a concert that she did in Paris, and she she played Rachmaninoff's piano concerto, but it was like in front of the Eiffel Tower, and it was so like magical to me. I just thought it looked amazing. I'm pretty sure it was
Which concerto was it?
number 2. It might have been that, or it might have been, she did do another concert that I've seen a recording of, which was the Grieg concerto, that one. She's done quite a lot. She's played with orchestras and obviously done her more solo stuff as well. But she also has a sister who plays piano, and I have a sister who plays piano. So
Really?
I was like, we're like the same. We're so similar. But obviously, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you have
So
a lot
I
of
could
things
be
in common.
playing a concert in Paris in front of the Eiffel Tower, maybe. I hope so one day.
Of course, yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
she's gorgeous, yeah, when she plays the piano. I mean, but by the way, she has a larger repertoire. You know, she has Greek concerto, Rachmaninoff concertos. She plays a lot of romantic era solo pieces. She really, I mean, I listened her in Spotify, and you know, he plays nocturnes, he plays Mozart, mostly concertos, and it's really
definitely
admirable.
Yeah, I think it is like the scale of what she actually is playing, like especially the amount of concertos is just incredible. I think I can't even play one concerto, so it takes a lot of work, I think, and dedication. So, and also playing with an orchestra, which I've never done. I've never played with an orchestra. It's only been solo piano.
Yeah. And you know, it's really different when you play solo and with the orchestra. It has so much more responsibility for the soloist. It's really different when you're a solo pianist or, you know, orchestral pianist. And these people are doing the both. You know, they give recitals and they play the concertos with the orchestra maybe. And it's really admirable, and I really can't understand how they are practicing these pieces
that's
that
so
fast.
True. I think
they playing it like in
it would
1
take me
week.
years.
You know, Greek piano concerto. She puts the notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
it's like
when you get to that level, it's incredible. I wish I could, like, I've been focusing mostly on like sight reading now, because my sight reading when I picked up the piano again in 2020 was just so bad. So I have seen an improvement, but it's just nothing compared to, like, you know, people that you can just put the music in front of them and they'll just play it straight away. I can't do that. I don't think I'll be able to do that for a long time, but it is something I want to work on, and especially like learning pieces of music quicker. And that's why I have set this goal of 1 piece a month, just so. No, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
Just so that I can like have a bit of a goal.
Yeah. Sometimes they play with the notes in front of them. You know, they are going to the concert with notes. You know, she or he said, okay, that's fine. I'll grab my notes and we can go to the stage. You know, it's like a language that in your main language, you know, you can you can read English fluently and you don't have a struggle with it, and I can read Turkish and I don't have a struggle with it. They can read music, they don't struggle with it.
It is like a language, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like a novel. I mean, every piece has a novel. Maybe some of them are short their stories maybe. There are some of them just like one or two sentences maybe, but Rachmaninoff Concerto, Greek Concerto is like a novel text
Definitely.
to read in 1 hour, and they are just okay
Yeah.
and open it and read it, that novel. It's that simple for them.
Yeah.
Of course, for us, it's like another language. Speaking of gods, there was a meme like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You're you're really actually you're right, because you said I don't know if I ever reach that level or not. I really can't know too. And these people already reached that
Yeah.
level in our ages. It's like it's unfair, Jam. It's not fair. Okay. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to you. I would like to ask you, if you have a chance to talk 9-year-old Gem, what would you say to her? What would you advise that you give to her?
I think 9-year-old me, she actually had a lot of drive and motivation to play, because I remember when I'd only been playing for a couple of months, and I said to my piano teacher, I really want to learn this piece, which was way too challenging for me, but we tried to work on it, and I did actually manage to learn it. But I would just say to her to keep like challenging myself, because I did kind of get to a point, maybe not when I was 9, but a bit further along, where it kind of like plateaued. I was just like challenging myself loads, and then it was just like, now I'm not doing anything at all. Like it was just, and I wasn't learning anything new. I wasn't learning anything that I really enjoyed playing. So I think definitely I would be a bit more like stay motivated to that person. So yeah, it would be more about motivation for me, because I think that is the one thing that has kept me going.
By the way, did you ever felt that you'll never make a progress in your music life? Did you say, okay, that's it, I really can't do it, I give up?
Yes, definitely. I think when I left school, high school, it was like kind of, I didn't want to do music as a career. So I was like, it gets pushed to the side. It's not as important. And then it just ended up being like, oh, well, it's been like a month and I haven't played anything on the piano. And I think then was when I was like, maybe I won't be playing next year at all. Maybe I won't be going back to it. Maybe I have to sell all my music books and sell the piano or something. But I think one thing that kept me going a little bit was the fact that my sister played piano as well. She's younger than me. She's 18. And it was almost like a little bit of friendly competition, because she would play her playing improved massively. She got really, really good really quickly, and then she was playing like Claire de Lune and arabesque, lots of stuff like that, and it made me want to go back to it, not to be better than her, but just to also be playing, because she was like, I want to play this piece, and she'd do it, and I thought I could do that as well. I could go back, I could just play what I want to play. So yeah, and luckily I have come back to it, and I've been very consistent the last like 3 years, definitely.
By the way, this is an amazing story, because when your sister becomes your mentor, you understand. Okay, you say it's so good that you don't feel the competition feel. That, I mean, how can I say this? you didn't want to pass her. You just get motivated and get back to the piano, and this is amazing.
Oh yeah,
Is
we
she still
both play.
plays it?
She likes a lot of different stuff from me. Like the kind of stuff I like to play is like gentle, you know, slower pieces, and she loves like massive, huge, challenging pieces with loads of like dynamics and stuff like that, and stuff that I like to listen to sometimes, but I wouldn't really want to play. But I think that's good, because if we were both playing the same stuff, I would be comparing my playing to her. Whereas now it's like she's playing what she likes, I'm playing what I like. We have enough for a 2-hour concert, you know. So yeah, and I think it helps to have like someone to push you. And also when she didn't feel as motivated, I could say, go and practice and she'll do it.
Yeah, I understand it. So she is more into the modern era of the classical music, I guess.
Yeah, we're probably playing around the same kind of stuff, but she's been studying music at college like last year, and she wants to continue doing some kind of study with music. So I think she's explored a lot more of that than me. My version of exploring is just listening to pieces on Spotify that I like, whereas hers is obviously she's got a teacher, a piano teacher, who gives her recommendations and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different. But yeah, and I haven't had a piano teacher now since I was 14. So everything after that was just me being motivated to learn, basically, and just doing it myself. Yeah.
It's like a self-progress.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
By the way, the teacher is extremely important, you know. If you head one up to the bad teacher, okay, your music career is done, because really teacher is maybe the most important things for musician's life. You know, if you have a teacher that understands you, give recommendations to you, supports you, then it's really good. But you know, some teachers is not that good, or it's not that good person. I mean, they're rude, they make fun of you, maybe it's like I mean, like they're Beethoven himself or the Debussy himself. He comments it. It's like, okay, this is just please stop. You will never make it. Just go back to your home. I really saw that kind of teacher. I really experienced it. You know, and you can't say anything, because it's really heartbreaking. You know, you're playing, you are trying to play, you are struggling with it, and your teacher says, okay man, give up, just please. And actually you have to say, okay, then you play, and literally. We'll listen to it.
I think that's what I found when I first was posting on here. I had a couple of comments quite early on that was like, you need a new teacher, or you need to find someone that can like help you with that, because you won't make any progress with that teacher. And I do agree that actually you're going to make so much progress with a great teacher, but I think it also depends on what your goal is. If you want to become like a great concert pianist, then you definitely need a great teacher. If it's like me, I don't really have big dreams like that for music. It's more about just playing what I really enjoy. So I think a teacher would be helpful for me, but it's not like essential right now at the moment. No, I agree.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, of course. By the way, did you ever attended to masterclass?
No, I haven't actually. I think I'd like to do something like that rather than have a one-to-one with a teacher. But obviously
Yeah.
now everyone has sort of, since the pandemic, they've made a lot of things digital. So there is so many opportunities
Yes.
to join. Like, say if I did a live video, or someone else that could actually teach really well could do a live masterclass, and you could just join, that would be so easy, rather than like having to get to a venue or something like that. So I think I might look into doing something like that. I do find it quite interesting.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, because if, by the way, if you are doing this masterclass with really a master musician like Lang Lang or Daniel Trifonov maybe, then I think that would be the greatest moments in the musician's life, because they know the piece, they know so much better the composer than you do. They can recommendations the more
Yeah,
logical to you. And I think it's important to attend these master classes because you hear the different recommendations for the same
yeah,
piece, and you say, "Oh, this angle is really interesting. Maybe I could try it." And you have another master that gives you a recommendation, and you say, "Oh, okay, this is an interesting one too. Maybe I just think of these recommendations and create my interpretation of my own." And this is
yeah,
how to become a musician for me.
definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So I really want to know that your concert you have attended to, because you live in the UK and we don't have that good concerts in Turkey. Because sadly, because Turkey has no that payment for the
Mm-hmm.
art or the music industry. And I know the Poland, the England, or the France has so much more attention for the music industry. So I really want to
Mm-hmm.
know the concerts you have attended to, and I would like to see. I would like to know that how the UK musicians in UK looks the music. You know, what are their opinion about it? They're having attention. They taking it seriously in music schools, in the head. I mean, I would really like to know that, because in Turkey, everyone is Mozart, everyone is Beethoven, everyone says something, and everyone plays the best, and this is
Yeah, I
awful.
think in the UK, I'm not sure if like I would consider classical to be like really, really popular, but there's definitely a lot of opportunities to watch like a concert, a classical concert. There's so many that you can go to here. And I mean, I would just search on Google classical concert near me or whatever. And I think actually once I've just said, is there anyone playing Chopin in London? And it comes up with a load of results. Basically, I think it was 2021, I went to Barcelona in Spain, and they have a beautiful concert hall there, which I went and visited with my friend. And when I was actually in Barcelona, there was a concert that was going to be played there by Maurizio Pollini. And yeah, and I
Oh
thought,
my god,
this is going to be
he's
my
amazing.
chance to see Maurizio Pollini play. But I didn't end up going because the person I was
Oh,
with,
that's bad.
she didn't like classical, I don't think. And I listened to this, like the set list that he was going to play, and I didn't really think that it was going to be
Yeah,
something that she would enjoy, and I wouldn't enjoy it as much. But I came home from Spain, and I thought, I really wish I had just gone. I wouldn't have, like, I don't think it would have been a big deal if I hadn't have really liked the pieces, because it was like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Because obviously he's very old now. I think he's 80. So anyway, I I looked on Google when I was like, is Maurizio Bellini playing a concert anytime soon? And it came up on Google. It said he's playing at London South Bank, which is, again, very close to where I live. And I straight away was like, I'm buying 2 tickets to this, and I'm taking my sister. And that was her Christmas present. So I went and saw a concert of his I think it was last year in March. And it was just amazing. We were sat really far back, but it didn't matter because it was just so good. And he played a lot of Chopin as well. And he finished his concert. He walked off of the stage, and then he came back on, and he played Ballad Number 1. And no one was probably there was people expecting it, but me and my sister just like, we sat next to each other, we just turned to look at each other like, he's playing Ballad Number 1. And yeah, it was just a really good vibes. And probably again, a once in a lifetime opportunity to actually see him perform, especially performing those kind of pieces that I really like listening to anyway. So yeah, that was really, really good. And I also went to, last year, I saw the Swan Lake at the Royal Opera House, and they do a lot of performances. It's obviously like ballet, but they have a full orchestra there, and I really love the music from it, so I really enjoyed that. And the last one I went to last year was actually in Windsor, and so that's where the Queen used to live, in Windsor. And it was a small concert in a tiny little kind of concert hall there, and it was by someone that I actually follow on Instagram, who I met on Instagram. Her name is Helen, and her Instagram is at Super Pianist Blondie. I don't know if you follow her, but I went to see her play.
I know her.
She did a little piano concert, and the thing is that for me was also kind of fate, because she doesn't live in this area. She lives up north, so and she was just doing a concert there, and she actually messaged me and said, I'm going to be in Windsor, and she knows I live up the road, so I came and saw her do that, and it was nice to meet her in person as well. So yeah, there's definitely I think opportunities to see those kind of concerts. I've seen a lot of advertisements on Facebook actually for candlelight concerts. So they have the piano in the middle and then all the candles all the way around. I kind of want to watch one of those. I think that would be quite cool.
It's like a different, it's really different, and I really would like to see the Polini. I'm commenting the stories that you tell us. Polini is a legend, of course, and it's the Horowitz in our age. The Horowitz has so many recitals when he was 80. The man is sick and he will die, but he still go and play Chopin, the Schumann. I saw her, I think the VM concert in YouTube. He was playing Schumann's Scenes from Childhood album. You know that album. It has the piece that Troy Marai is, it's like dreaming. And when he finished it, the piece, the album, camera goes to the Horowitz, it zooms to the Horowitz, and the Horowitz is crying.
Yeah.
You know, because Horowitz is a person who knows
Yeah.
Rachmaninoff face to face. You know,
It's
he has a
amazing,
photograph with Rachmaninoff. I mean,
yeah.
which level is that? You know, you're a friend of Rachmaninoff. You're a friend of his. That I don't know. I
Yeah.
really don't know. I
It
can't
is. It
imagine.
is so cool. I also think this is not related, but our new piano is a Bechstein, and I searched up how old it was because obviously you can check the serial number, and it was manufactured 127 or 28 years ago. So it's like it's really old. And I just kind of think like it's obviously not as old as those artists, but it's kind of like in the same kind of, you think of how many people have probably played this, because I don't think it's not been in the same family the whole time. So I just think, and all the like history that's with it as well. So yeah, I just really like that kind of thing.
Yeah, we have a conservatory that I live in Turkey and in Bursa. So we have a conservatory it's like Uludağ State Conservatory. It has a piano in the middle of the school. It's a special one because you know Saint-Saëns, yeah. That piano sent by Saint-Saëns directly to Istanbul. You know, that piano, in that piano, Saint-Saëns has played the piano. And it was like in front of me. I looked at the piano. It has not have 88 keys.
Okay,
it is like 81, I think. It has two pedals. It's broken, of course, but when you think that piano in front of you sometime in the past, the Camilla Saint-Saëns play it, you're yes, it's like a gift. I mean, I couldn't dare to press it, that buttons, because actually I couldn't, because it has the protection on it. It has the glass protection, but it's enough to see it.
I do think it's really cool to think about, and also that a lot of the instruments that they played are still around. I mean, some of them are like probably in museums, but a lot of the like pianos that they've played, like the great artists, are still here. You know, so
yeah. I mean, if you go to Poland, you can see the Chopin's piano that he played. Or you can. Do you know Tiffany Poon? She's a pianist, a vlogger. She played. You know Clara Schumann, right? She played Clara Schumann's piece on Clara Schumann's piano. Yes, I will send the links of that videos. I mean, she played. She has a special permission, of course.
Just rock off.
You can't just go and this is this Clara's piano. Okay, I will play. She played Robert Schumann's piece, Clara Schumann's piece in Clara Schumann's last piano that she played. So when you look at these pianos, it has hundreds of years. Tiffany Poon is living at now. Clara Schumann lives at 19th century. It has hundreds of years, and it's so weird. That feel is really weird when you think about it. I think
also it makes me want to take care of my current piano more, because there is so much like history with it and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so my questions, that would be all. But I have a friend, which she is a violinist. Um she has a question for you. Uh, she wrote her question on the comment section like 1 hour ago, but I forgot it. But she's still watching. Her name. uh, okay, I'm really sorry. I forget it, but I remember now. Okay, her name is Havin Öykü. Uh, she has the question that how much hour do you practice
Okay.
in one day?
So
40.
at the moment, I have quite a lot of free time. I've just been doing, like, I have stuff to do in the morning that's not related to piano, and then I have like the afternoon free. So because I've got this goal of learning a piece every single month, I've been sort of splitting up my practice into an hour to learn stuff. Sometimes it goes over an hour because, you know, when you're learning and you're really determined, you sort of forget about time. But every single day I will sit down for 30 minutes and play, and that's just playing through what I've learned. But if I'm doing like a session where I'm learning a new section of a piece, I'll sit for an hour at least. So, but I think it's like, if you want to practice more than that, because you're going to get more out of it, then I think it's a good idea to. I think it's dependent on what you're learning, and also how you or what you do in your practice session, because some people like me I get really distracted so easily, so that's why I do a little bit less, because if I am sat for hours and hours at the piano, I find I don't make as much progress, so I try and keep it to an hour at least. But yeah.
Okay, so you don't practice piano
No.
40 hours a day?
No, I do like it though.
Okay, in Asia, you know, the small childs uh, practice 40 hours a day, and they become a little pianist. You know, he's 8 years old and plays La Campanella.
They always say like you need to dedicate so many hours to become like a master of a skill. Even when I was doing like piano lessons, I think my teacher would always say, try and do 15 minutes a day, and that was it. But obviously then I was a brand new beginner, so 15 minutes was probably enough. But now I do a lot longer than 15 minutes. But I think it's kind of important to, it depends on your goal, doesn't it? If you want to make loads and loads and loads of progress and get really, really good, you just have to put in more time, don't you?
Yeah, of course. I think the piano is the easiest instrument to start, but the hardest instrument
I agree.
to be mastered.
And I think I'm like at the moment, if I was going to teach somebody, like any new people, it would be just learning the basics of how to read sheet music, how to find the notes, how to put a piece together, so that you'd be able to then pick up any piece and try and learn it yourself. I think that's kind of the important thing for me. But it's once you get into like all the other stuff, the technique, and you know how to read more complex sheet music, I think that's when it's like you need the extra guidance.
Yeah, I really agree with that. And yeah, you know, it's hard to make a sound. I mean, with violin or, you know, the cello, you know better than me. But it's really easy on the piano because you press the C note and
Yeah,
it goes up like C, D, B, or, but it's really hard on the strings, or the guitar, the chords in guitar. Maybe it's really hard, but when you get into it, you understand the difficulty of the piano pieces. Of course, it's not. It has not the meaning of the other instruments are easy to be mastered. Of course, they are difficult too, but the piano is another level. The concertos, maybe. Some 3 or 4-year-old. I'm sorry. If the musician has 3 or 4 years of experience of playing the violin, maybe she or he can play Mozart's concertos, maybe. But it's impossible to play it with the piano. You have to have to play it like years and years to play Rachmaninoff, Grieg, Chopin. To become a master is really hard at piano. Yeah. Okay, Jim. Okay, so my excitement has gone away because you're a really cute person, and thank you so much for attending my program. I really loved your conversation. We were talking in chats, but it was not continuously. I really loved your friendship with me. I really loved your conversation with me.
Thank you for arranging it.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so do you want to say anything more?
I think the only thing I will add is that anyone watching who is thinking of starting the piano to definitely start and give it a go, because it's very rewarding.
Yes. Yeah. It really deserves a chance, right? Okay, thank you so much again, Jem. So see you, and I really would like to keep our friendship go. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again. So goodbye. Take care. Arkadaşlar Türkçe dönmek istiyorum artık. Arkadaşlar evet, şu an beni izleyen kim var? Havin var, hocam Deniz, siz varsınız, Nur var. Nur sen yeni geldin de tüm yayın İngilizceydi. Biraz rahatlamak istiyorum tabii, lütfen. Vallahi çok heyecanlıydım. Yapamayacağım diye bayağı bir korktum yani. Ama fena değildi ya sanki. Yaptık herhalde ya bir şeyler. Tabii kapanışı İngilizce yapacağım birazdan. Ben böyle İngilizcemi de çok fena geliştiririm var ya. Hakikaten çok fena gelişir İngilizce'de. Neyse. İngilizce dönüyorum. Dil değiştiriyorum arkadaşlar. Bizde bol, seçenek bol. Orada değiştirebiliyoruz dili yani. Okay. So everyone who has watched our live stream with Gem, thank you so much for attending. It was really meaningful for me. It was the first program of the young talents and the conversations with musicians. So thank you for not letting me be alone. I really don't know if these programs have ever been continuously. Maybe I can't do it week after week after week, but I really want to make these programs minimum twice at 1 month. I really want to make it. All right, so thank you again so much for watching us, listening to us. I hope see you next week on the second program of the young talents, or maybe interviews with masters or music chats. I don't know which would be, because this earthquake in Turkey affected all the world, and I have arranged so many programs to the March it was all booked, but they just canceling because of the earthquake, and that really sucks. Yeah, whatever. Let's see what will happen in the future. Okay, thank you so much again. Uh, Good evening for the people who lives in London, UK, and good night for everyone who lives in Turkey. See you next week.